Hi, I'm Maddie.
And I'm Anya.
And we're Tweeks. Twin Geeks. This week we will be reviewing IDW's Edward Scissorhands comics, written by Kate Leth, art by Drew Rosh.
Issue 3
of 5.
was released last week. We love Edward and we're thrilled that they made it a comic.
And because it's new for us, we thought it might be new for some of you too.
The Tim Burton movie starring Johnny Depp and Winona Ryder.
It was released in 1990, so maybe your parents haven't sat you down and made you watch it yet.
If you're a fan of Johnny Depp,
A young Johnny Depp. Think about that.
or a fan of Tim Burton movies, you need to watch this movie. But if you haven't seen the movie and still want to read the comics won't mess you up because they take place after the movie. So the movie Edward Scissorhands is a fairy tale about an inventor who dies just before finishing making a man.
Edward is left with scissors where he should have hands.
Then an Avon lady comes calling to the mansion where Edward's living alone. She takes him home with her to the suburbs.
Oh, you okay?
And she finds out he has a talent for cutting hair and hedges. And mostly everyone just comes to love Edward.
Especially Kim. At the end of the film, you see an old Kim telling her granddaughter about Edward.
The comics start with Kim's granddaughter, Meg, finding her grandmother's diary and trying to find the mysterious inventor's castle, and maybe even Edward.
In the second comic, that's where the real action starts. Edward realizes that an unfinished experiment is roaming the streets and is not safe. Well, more than not safe, evil. Dun 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 dun!
Then we see Meg's mom yelling at her and telling her that Edward isn't real and her mother Kim was crazy. But Meg won't give up. She still believes in Edward.
After Meg and her mother's argument, she's distraught. She goes to her grandmother's grave, and on the way, she finds Edward. And then we are cursed with the worst. To be continued! No! Luckily, we don't have to wait long because the third issue just came out.
In this issue, Meg actually finds her way to the castle, led there by Edward. She bumps into him on the way home. At first, Edward thinks Meg is Kim, but then Meg explains everything and Edward leads her to the castle.
At the castle, Edward does his own explaining and tells Meg that there's another experiment, Eli, roaming the streets, out and about.
Meg and Edward decide to team up to find Eli, but just as they're about to do something, Meg is called home by her mother.
The next morning, we find that it is too late and that Eli has already got a little boy.
Wait, was that one little kid?
The one with the mom who drinks all the wine?
Yeah, that one, yeah.
And then, before you know it, to be continued!
Oh, really? Again? Another cliffhanger? Are you serious?
These books are definitely Tweeks approved.
My favorite character was Meg because she's really adventurous and she won't take no for an answer.
My favorite part of the book was the art. It reminded me of Raina Telgemeier's and Jess Smith's drawings. The one thing I didn't really like was the flow of the story. It was really choppy. There wasn't a lot of humor.
Although, despite all these minor issues, we can't wait for issue 4.
So, that's all for now.
Follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
Subscribe to us on YouTube.
And check back every Thursday on ComicMix.com for new videos.
Bye!